Happy Vlogmas day, whatever it is. I don't know, because I just am going to do this randomly or every other day. But today, we are making Hardee's biscuits, homemade. The copycat recipe for Hardee's biscuits. And they're supposed to be very similar. We shall see. So stay tuned and watch me bake some biscuits for the first time. This is my first attempt at biscuits. Homemade biscuits with the Hardee's recipe I found online for their biscuits, and it starts out with 2 cups of flour. I'm just gonna warn you all, this kinda was a fail for me. We're gonna eat them, but you'll see as we get further along that I should have made them thicker. But now we're on to the baking powder, which you'll need 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. And next you'll need 1.5 teaspoon of sugar. Sometimes it takes me multiple times to figure out recipes, and this is one of them. And the last dry ingredient you'll need before you whisk is 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And all of these recipes that I show you during Vlogmas will be down below in the description box, and I have made a playlist of my baked goods that I have done videos on. So now you're just whisking the dry ingredients together. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment down below if you've made biscuits homemade before, or Hardee's biscuits, let me know. So now we're on to the shortening, and you need 6 tablespoons of shortening, or Crisco. We had shortening. And the way you're supposed to mix this up, I put on gloves because I thought I was going to use gloves, but then I ended up taking them off towards the end anyway. But so you're supposed to have coarse crumbs, is how the recipe says. So I blended them together with one glove on with the shortening. I love speeding up videos for this part. Now that's all combined. And your next step is 1 cup of buttermilk, which I forgot to press record. So that has buttermilk in it now. And then I just got some parchment paper. I didn't really want to do it on the countertop, which you could do. Flatten it out. Make sure you flour it and your dough. I didn't even use a rolling pin, but I could have. To me, I like to use my hands a lot, so I just went for it. It comes off with water and soap, and my hands are clean. So spreading this is, you're supposed to have the thickness about 1 to 1.5 inch, and I failed there. And so I ended up finding my little bell, Christmas bell ornament. I thought, oh, that looks like a biscuit shape. So again, a little creativity thrown into my baked goods. So we're just speeding this up, and you're only supposed to have 10 biscuits from this recipe, and I had more because sometimes I don't follow directions. And I wanted to do it my way, and don't do that. Use the recipe. Those are supposed to be thicker than that, so they'll rise and bake properly. So that's why I'm calling this kind of a fail. But they're edible, and we're gonna put sausage gravy on top of them for dinner tonight, and I think they'll be good. With that, I will let you know. Look how messy I am. I am a messy baker. I really try to not be, but I like to fling stuff around. So we're still making the little Christmas bell cookie cutter shapes here, and I made sure and floured a lot more. And these ones I made thicker because, you know, I didn't follow the directions originally. So these are thicker biscuits. You can tell by how much easier it is to get them out also. Let me know if you have any recipes that you love to make, either sweets or desserts or breads or biscuits. Let me know, and maybe I'll make one of them on one of my videos. I forgot to mention, you are not supposed to knead this dough, so do not knead the dough. And before I forget, preheat your oven to 425 degrees. And this should be towards the end of my biscuits. Like I said, I was supposed to have 10, and I came up with more. So I ended up taking the biscuits out early that were the thinner ones, because they would have burned if I hadn't. But the thicker ones I left in a little longer. The time on this is 15 to 20 minutes. And that's a good way to get the dough separated, is moving that cookie cutter around, and it's so much easier. So now that is more than 10, and you are supposed to put buttermilk on the top of them. So I just put it in a cup and got my brush and brushed the buttermilk on top of all of them. I mean, you could use these for, put honey on them or jam, or we're gonna use biscuits and gravy for it. So they're going into the oven, like I said, 425. And I decided to use this cookie plate, but we're not putting cookies on there. No, no, no. Biscuits. So those are the first ones I had to pull out, and this is the finished product. Alright, well, this is how they turned out, and yes, that's a butter. Note to self, make biscuits thicker. But let's see if they taste okay. I don't know about these. Make 1.5 inch thick when you're pressing out your dough. Don't make flat ones, or they will not rise, and they cook a lot faster. So I may try this over again. The flavor is okay. That is the end of my maybe a fail for Hardee's biscuits, but you know, this was the first time, so I would change a few things. Well, thank you for watching, and if you do make these, follow directions, make them thicker, and watch them to make sure they get golden brown and not burnt on the bottom. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.